The last visual recording of the first admiral begins with a flickering light illuminating a dark room. On the screen, a red-faced creature with red protrusions like spines emanating from her head is visible. Her eyes, a lighter shade of red, are filled with terror. Her spin-like protrusions wobbled, and her hairless brow was raised, betraying her fear. With a shaken voice, she begins recounting their history. "We were once a happy galaxy, having abandoned our warlike tendencies in favor of peace and prosperity. The Total Disarmament Act had outlawed anything designed to cause harm. We explored the far reaches of our galaxy, encountering other interplanetary communities, some just beginning to venture toward the stars. We taught them our pacifist ways, but when we reached System 268 billion, now known as the SAY system, we were horrified by what we found: humans, the most self-destructive creatures of all time. From the moment we saw their planet, we knew they would be difficult to convert to pacifism." The Admiral's expression darkens as she recalls their attempts to reach out to humanity. "Before we even made contact, we noticed their planet was a death world, a place where survival is a constant struggle. We had just converted a death world to pacifist ways and thought we could do the same here. But then, war broke out. The humans called it the Second World War. We called it the Abomination. We immediately halted all attempts at contact, recognizing they were far beyond our help, too suspicious, too paranoid. A few decades after the war, we ventured back to Earth, even as the rest of the galaxy begged us not to let the monsters out. But what we saw shocked us. They had evolved into new forms of barbarism. A proxy war had broken out, and they spied on each other, friend or foe, for intelligence, betraying and backstabbing each other while threatening nuclear annihilation. We decided to leave them, sampling their culture only to see their reaction to aliens: shoot and kill." The Admiral pauses, coughing up orange blood that trickles down her front. She wipes it away and continues, her voice growing weaker. "We saw their reaction to our presence, and it was clear violence was their first instinct. Some among us wanted to destroy them, but we rejected this idea. Instead, we set up impenetrable force fields in their outermost asteroid field. We were preventing them from leaving and ensuring no one could get in. We allowed asteroids and their probes to pass through so they wouldn't suspect anything. Our hope was that they would destroy themselves, sparing us the need to take action. But they didn't die. About 95 years after the Abomination, they began setting up permanent colonies on the 4th planet. Within a century, they were on the moons of the 5th and 6th planets. We realized they were on the verge of discovering faster-than-light travel, advancing at unbelievable rates, far faster than any other species before them." The Admiral pauses, coughing up orange blood that trickles down her front. She wipes it away and continues, her voice growing weaker. "We saw their reaction to our presence, and it was clear violence was their first instinct. Some among us wanted to destroy them, but we rejected this idea. Instead, we set up impenetrable force fields in their outermost asteroid field. We were preventing them from leaving and ensuring no one could get in. We allowed asteroids and their probes to pass through so they wouldn't suspect anything. Our hope was that they would destroy themselves, sparing us the need to take action. But they didn't die. About 95 years after the Abomination, they began setting up permanent colonies on the 4th planet. Within a century, they were on the moons of the 5th and 6th planets. We realized they were on the verge of discovering faster-than-light travel, advancing at unbelievable rates, far faster than any other species before them." Her voice falters as she recalls the next phase of their encounter. "Their first working FTL ship hit our force field and exploded. We recoiled in horror. They had launched a ship into the stars, asking what was out there, and the stars answered with no. The humans seemed to stop their expansion, or so we thought. For the first time in 1,000 years, we began military preparations. The entire galaxy mobilized, and I was among those who joined the effort. We hoped to intimidate them with overwhelming force, but that wasn't how it played out. We waited outside the force field, and more probes than ever before were sent out. We let them through, thinking it was safe, but then their fleet arrived: impossible numbers, impossible sizes. They had expanded so quickly, it was beyond comprehension. Later, we discovered they had always known we were there. Their probes had scanned us, their technology so primitive that we didn't even notice." The recording begins to flicker as she struggles to continue. "They built their ships based on what they learned from us, and when they attacked, it was with a force we had never seen before. The force field broke, overloaded by their firepower. Ashamed, we began shooting at them out of fear. But the humans didn't fire back when the force field dropped. They showed restraint, but we were too frightened to stop. We kept firing, and she coughed up more orange blood. The video quality deteriorates, with sparks flying from the ceiling. But she presses on. The war began in earnest after that. The humans won battle after battle, their 2,000 years of warfare experience outmatching our 1,000 years of peace. We couldn't fight, they could. My ship was destroyed in the battle for our homeworld, and they glassed our planet, killing everyone there. Like so many other worlds, it was left barren. A single tear rolls down her cheek as she chokes on her words, gasping for breath. In the end, we tried to surrender, but our communications were misunderstood. We could understand their writing, but they couldn't comprehend ours. We tried to talk through releasing gases, but they made the air dance in response. The war dragged on, with the humans winning every battle. They were relentless, driven by their history of conflict, while we were weakened by our long peace. My planet, like so many others, was destroyed, left a lifeless husk. She coughs again, her voice barely audible. The recording finally fails, cutting off as the last spark lands on her motionless body. The transmission was sent out across the galaxy, and those who received it watched in horror. Already they were removing logos and flags, hoping that when the humans arrived, they would recognize the boundaries. But deep down, they knew the truth: the humans wouldn't stop, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop them. The second part of the transmission begins with the camera lens struggling to focus on the Admiral's lifeless body, her orange blood pooling beneath her. After a moment, the recording flickers and resumes, this time in another room with dim, amber lighting casting eerie shadows on the walls. The viewer's perspective shifts to a council chamber, filled with the remaining leaders of the once thriving galactic coalition. They are huddled around a holographic display, their faces drawn with despair and terror. Their voices, though trembling, carry the weight of the dire situation. The eldest among them, an alien with pale blue skin and eyes like endless voids, speaks first, her tone somber. The humans have already begun their march across the stars, sweeping through the outer systems. Every world they touch falls, and they show no sign of slowing. We underestimated them. We thought their lack of advanced technology would cripple them. Instead, they adapted, they learned. And they overcame every obstacle we placed before them. They have proven to be more resilient and resourceful than any species we've encountered. Now they are coming for us, and we have no defense. The holographic map displays the expanse of the galaxy, with red tendrils representing human expansion, snaking through star systems that once belonged to the peaceful coalition. The tendrils grow steadily, wrapping around and suffocating each world, leaving nothing but silence in their wake. Another council member, a reptilian creature with scales that glisten like wet stone, slams his clawed hand onto the table, his frustration and fear evident. We should have destroyed them when we had the chance. Our mercy has brought us to the brink of extinction. We cannot allow them to continue unchecked. If we are to survive, we must fight back with everything we have left. But another voice rises, one of resignation rather than defiance. A slender, ethereal being with translucent wings and eyes that shimmer like liquid silver speaks with a hollow tone. Fight back. With what? Our fleets are decimated, our planets are in ruins, and our people are scattered and broken. The humans have taken from us what we thought was unassailable: our unity, our hope. They are not driven by conquest for resources or territory. They are driven by something far more terrifying: the need to survive, no matter the cost. And in their quest for survival, they will stop at nothing. As the council debates, the camera shifts to the vast emptiness of space, where the remnants of the Galactic Coalition's fleet drift aimlessly, shattered and abandoned. The once proud armada, built over millennia to protect and preserve peace, now floats as debris, a grim reminder of their failure to adapt to the harsh realities of war. The stars themselves seem dimmer, as if mourning the loss of countless civilizations that once thrived under their light. The scene returns to the council chamber, where the discussion has turned to the possibility of escape. Perhaps we can find refuge in the uncharted regions of the galaxy, suggests a member with a voice tinged with desperation. There are still places the humans have not reached, places where we can hide, rebuild, and hope that they do not find us. The suggestion hangs in the air like a fragile thread of hope, but it is quickly cut by the harsh reality. The eldest leader shakes her head slowly. There is no escape. The humans have proven their ability to overcome any barrier, to find and conquer any world they set their sights on. And even if we were to flee, what kind of life would that be? Living in constant fear, hiding from the inevitable? No, we must face them. As futile as it may be, we owe it to our ancestors, to our people, to make one last stand, not for victory, but for the dignity we have left. The council falls silent, each member lost in their thoughts, contemplating the fate that awaits them. The recording shifts again, this time to a barren planet, its surface scarred by craters and scorch marks, the remnants of a fierce battle. The camera zooms in on a single, towering structure in the distance, a monument, built hastily by the survivors of the coalition, a final tribute to all that was lost. It bears inscriptions in countless languages, a eulogy for the civilizations that once flourished under the banner of peace. The monument stands as a silent sentinel, waiting for the inevitable arrival of the human fleet. As the camera pulls back, revealing the desolate landscape, a sense of finality hangs heavy in the air. The transmission ends with a final message, not spoken but written across the screen in stark, unadorned text. We were the guardians of peace, the bearers of light in a galaxy filled with darkness. We sought to bring harmony where there was chaos, to guide those who had lost their way. But in the end, it was not enough. We underestimated the darkness within ourselves and within the humans. Now, as we stand on the brink of annihilation, we can only hope that the humans will one day learn from our mistakes. That they will find a way to coexist with the universe rather than dominate it. For if they do not, they too will face the same fate that has befallen us, a fate of endless war, of destruction, and of loss. The screen fades to black, leaving only the soft hum of the recording device as it powers down, the last echoes of a once great civilization now lost to the void. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. For every comment that says, we will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.